सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ उषवै वाजश्रवसः सर्ववेदसंददौ तस्य नचिकेता नाम पुत्र आस.
So in today's session we will be going through some of the selected verses from Kathopanishad, especially those that have been asked in the exams, and some of them I have just picked up which resemble the shlokas that are there in Gita, and a few other things I have picked them up. Harini, I'll mute you. If you want to speak, you want to mute yourself. So it begins with introducing Vajashravas. Kathopanishad begins saying he was doing the Vishwajit Yaga, and he had a Nachiketa Namaputra Asa. He had a son named Nachiketa, and it goes to explain how he was donating, making all those charity. The first important verse would be about the cow that he has been distributing. Ananda namate lokas tan sagacchati tadadat is a quotation that has been asked in the exam. Jagdatrinaha dugdadohaha nirindriyaha ananta namate lokaha tan sagacchati tadadat. So those cows were so weak that whatever water they had to drink, they have already drunk that. They can't even drink any more water. Pitodakaha, Jagdatrinaha, whatever had to be eaten, all the grass they have already eaten. They don't have the energy to eat anymore. Dugdha dohaha, similarly they have given all the milk that they could give. Nirindriyaha, so their indriyas are not, sense organs are not working properly. They can't now reproduce, so they can't give any more milk. Ananda namate lokaha. Ananda here means na anandaha. So that loka where there will not be ananda, only those kind of lokas will a person go to. Tansa gacchati ta dadat. Taha, here taha means all these cows. Giving these types of useless cows, my father will reach only those worlds where he is not going to be happy. He is doing it for happiness. He is doing this Vishwajit Yaga for happiness, but by giving these kind of cows, Nachiketa feels bad that his father won't get the loka where he can be happy. So the next thing is, goes repeatedly asks the father to whom he is going to be given, and then in moment of anger his father says, I'll give you to Yama, and then he reflects. There's one more quote there, I have always been in the best of the students for my father. As a son and as a student, I have been the best. Sometimes I have been mediocre, but never I was a bad student. So I will definitely obey. In the same way, for Emma also, I'll somehow make myself useful for him. So that is his mentality. He's already started thinking how to make himself useful to Emma. But when his father feels now bad that he had uttered this and his son wants to now leave him, that time he points out about how people die, and this is not something to be worried about. So that is the next quotation.
Anupashyayatha purve
pratipashya tatha pare sasyamiva martyah pasyate sasyamiva ajayate punaha. So anupashya yatha purve. Look at people who have lived before us. Pratipashya tatha apare. Look at the people who are going to come now in future. Sasyamiva martyah pachyate. Like a plant or a crop, martyah pachyate. Even men, they decay. Sasyamiva ajayate punaha. So the person again is reborn, just as the sasyam, just as the crop sprouts again. The man is going to be reborn again. So he is actually convincing his father by these words, saying that he shouldn't be worrying that his son is going to death now, to meet death, because it is just it is quite natural for every man to die. So here we find that he has this knowledge about this death and the rebirth after death and all that. So here he convinces his father and he leaves. And then the rest of the story comes, wherein he goes, waits there for 3 days. Yama comes back. He realizes that an Atiti who is not fed can cause major destruction, like all our wealth, whatever one may possess, all the prosperity, the family, everything will vanish in a split of a second if the Aditi is not properly, hospitality is not extended to an Aditi. So he offers the 3 boons. For the first boon, he wishes that Nachiketa says that my father should happily accept me back. So that is Yama gives that boon. For the next one, he says he wants to know, he finds that in the Swargaloka, people are not thirsty, they are not hungry, they don't experience sorrowness, they actually don't have this disease and death, and they are always happy. So he wants to know the fire sacrifice doing which he can reach Swargaloka, and Yama teaches him that. And Nachiketa actually repeats all those whatever Yama teaches him, and mainly what he teaches there is what is the kind of brick one should use, how many bricks are to be used, and how they are to be arranged. So these he teaches them, and hearing Nachiketa listen with attention and explain that back to Yama, Yama becomes very happy, and he gives him as a bonus boon, he gives him Shringan, a multicolored jewel, and also he says that this Agni will be named after Nachiketa. This Varga Agni will be called Nachiketa Agni, and those who performs this thrice, they will reach this heaven. So that is about Nachiketa Agni. Those comes for short questions. We will have to explain Nachiketa Agni and significance. Then for the third one, he had to ask the third boon. So that's where he starts. We are still in the first chapter. So this Kathopanishad has 2 chapters, Prathama Adhyaya, Dvitiya Adhyaya. In the Prathama Adhyaya, there are 3 vallis, and similarly in the Dvitiya Adhyaya, there are 3 vallis. In the first valli of the first Adhyaya, all these conversations happen until he asks for the third boon, and Yama offers something else, and he insists on the third boon. So all of these till the end of this conversation is the Prathama Valli. So if there is any question about Prathama Valli, we will have to write till here. The actual answer for the third boon, that comes in the second Valli. So here
sorry, we lost the audio for a while. Can you just repeat that thing? First Valli, second Valli you started, and then we lost it.
Yeah. So there are 3 vallis in the Prathama Adhyaya and 3 vallis in the Dvitiya Adhyaya. There was a question asked about the Yama Nachiketa conversations in the Prathama Valli. So in Prathama Valli, what happens is the entire story starting from the beginning, point where Yama is convinced that he has to oblige, he has to give this knowledge of the self to Nachiketa. So in the Prathama Valli only, Nachiketa asks for the third boon, and Yama is going to offer other things, all the pleasures and Nachiketa rejects all of them and insists on getting only the knowledge of the self. Until here, this is the Prathamavalli. In Dvitiyavalli, directly that he starts responding. Yama starts his teaching from there. Okay, so this is the third vara. Prete vichikitsa manushye asti te kenayamasti chaike etat vidyamanushishtastvayaham varanamesha varastritiyah. Yayam prete vichikitsa manushye. Manushye prete, when a person dies, there is a doubt, there is a question about what happens to him after death. Asti iti eke. Some say that he lives on. Nayam asti iti cha eke. So this is the Charvaka philosophy where they say borrow money and eat well and have ghee and all that, because once you are gone, there is nothing going to be there. So Nayam asti iti cha eke. So there are people who say that nothing exists after that. Etad vidyam anushishtas tvayaham. So by you I want to be taught this knowledge. Etad vidyam anushishtaha tvaya aham. Varanamesha varastritiyah. So among the varas, this is the third vara. So now what happens is, though Yama might have felt very happy internally, first thing is he wants to make sure that he is deserving this, giving this knowledge to a deserving candidate. So he wants to test Nachiketa, so he offers a lot of things. Like he says, Shatayushaha Putra Pautran Vrinishva, ask for kids and grandchildren who will live for 100 years. Bahun Pashun Hasti Hiranyam Ashwan, ask for a lot of cattle, elephants, gold and horses. Bhumehe Mahadayatanam Vrinishva, ask for huge landscapes in the earth. Swayam cha jiva sharado yavadichasi, how much ever long you want to live, ask for that and live as a Chiranjeevi. So all this he offers. Nachiketa is not impressed, so he was wondering maybe he has something else in mind other than what I am trying to offer. So at the next level, Emma says, okay, whatever you want to ask, you may ask. So for that he says, etat tulyam yadi manyase varam. Etat tulyam yadi manyase varam. Vrinishva vittam chiranjeevikam cha. Mahabhumau nachiketam swamedhi. Kamanam tvam kamabhajam karomi. So, etat tulyam yadi manyase varam, etat tulyam, equal to all of these, what we have said before in the previous shloka. If you consider something else which is equivalent to all of this that you have in your mind, yadi manyase varam, vrinishva, ask for that. Is it vittam, chiranjeevi kamcha, ask for all wealth and ask for very long life. Mahabhumau, earlier he said, ayatanam, mahadayatanam, ask for a huge space, but here he says Mahabhumau Nachiketah Tvam Edi, you rule a huge space of land. So earlier not just owning, here you become the ruler also. Kamanam Tva Kamabhajam Karomi, for all the pleasurable things, enjoyable things, I will make you the enjoyer. So that here basically he means enjoy whatever happiness you want to enjoy. So all of these Yama offers. So we should remember he was such a small boy and easy to fall to temptation, but even though the highest of all pleasures are being offered, he still doesn't want to take it. So Yama still proceeds further and tries some more. Kama durlabha martya loke sarvan kamans chandatah prarthayasva ima rama saratas saturyaha nahi drisha.
ईदृशाल्लभ्य नियामनिश्यैः आभिर्मत्प्रत्ताभिः परिचारयस्व नचिकेतो मरणं मानुप्राक्षि.
This is Sandarbha question. Nachiketo Maranam Manuprakshi. Hey Nachiketa, don't ask me about Maranam, death. Don't ask me the secret of death. So what all he is offering? Ye kamaha durlabaha martyaloke. In your earth, whatever are the desires that are very difficult to be satisfied, sarvan kamans chandatah prarthayasva. So you select all those, whatever you want to choose. Chandata is according to your choice. Select all of those and ask me for them. Ima Ramaha Sarataha Saturyaha. I'll give you all these women along with rathas and along with all the musical instruments. Nahi idrishaha lambaniyaha manushyehi. These are not something that can be obtained by humans easily. Abihi mat prattabihi paricharayasva. By these people, by all these ladies that I am offering you, you enjoy your life, be served by them, and receive all their the enjoyment they want to offer to you. You accept their services. Nachiketo maranam manuprakshi. But don't ask me about maranam, the death. And this is where Yama also says this is something even the devas don't know. They are also puzzled. They have reached their Swargaloka, but they still don't know the secret of death. So picking up that point itself, this smart Nachiketa says, so you yourself tell me that even devas don't know. So I should ask something worthwhile, so I will ask something even the devas don't know, which you are the right person to answer. So I will ask only this to know about the secret of death. So Nachiketa says 2 points. One is one cannot be satisfied by wealth. Another is one cannot be satisfied by long life. I mean, what happiness is there in long life? So these 2 points Nachiketa puts forward. Tarpaniyo manushyaha lapsyamahe vittamadraksmachitva jivishyama yavati sheshashitvam varastume varaniya sadeva. So varastume varaniya saeva. Among the varas, if you want to give me, you should give me only what I am asking for. Otherwise it's okay, you don't have to give me. Na vittena tarpaniyaha manushyaha. So people are not to be satisfied with wealth. They cannot be satisfied by giving them wealth, how much ever large it is, huge it is. Lapsyamahe vittam adrakshma chet tva. Having seen you, is there any possibility that I will have any dearth of funds? I will. This itself is a great blessing. Having your darshan itself is a great blessing. So in my life, I am not going to at any point of time feel the need for any wealth, because just your darshan, that blessings itself will assure sufficient wealth for me. And that is about the wealth. Now talking about chiranjivitvam, jivishyamahe yavat ishyasi tvam. As long as you rule over, we will live as that yavat, that as long as probably has some kind of a significance. So as long as you rule, we can live that long. So which means you are a ruler, you are responsible for death. So at some point of time, it will come. However long we can extend it because of your blessings, because you are responsible for death, you can still postpone to whatever extent. But since you are ruling, your work is to take away the life. At some point, I would have to lose that life. So I don't see any point in asking for any wealth, because vittena na tarpaniyaha manushyaha. They can't be satisfied by wealth. And also this jivishyamahe yavat ikshasi tvam. As long as you rule, I can live only so long. So varana varastu me varaniya sayeva. So I insist that that is the only vara that I want from you. So he proceeds to tell about atidirge jivite korameta, who will enjoy in a very long life. So just a long life is not going to be the source of enjoyment.
Sa eva ajiratam amrutanam upetya jiryanmartyah kwadastah prajanan abhidhyayan varnarati pramodan atidirghe jivite korameta.
Ajiryatam mrutanam upetya, having approached, lep comes there, having approached you, what kind of person you are. Ajiryatam, you don't decay, you don't, you are there is no decay for you, there is no death for you. Mrutanam, having approached you, what kind of a person am I? Jiryan martyah, I am a mortal, and Jiryan, I will decay. I know that I'm at some point I will die, and I also know that you are beyond death and decay. Kwadastah, I stay in a lower world. He is in Swargaloka, I am in this lower world. Prajanan, I'm aware of all of this. So I have this knowledge as to I am in this lower world, I am going to die, and you are beyond death and decay. Varnarati pramodan, all those happiness that are obtained by Varnarati, the enjoyment of sense objects, all those such joy, I know that they are so transient. Abhi dhyayan, so I'm aware of the nature of such happiness. Atidirge jivite korameta, why would I want to choose, anybody wants to choose atidhirga jivanam, who will find happiness in a very long life, when we know the transient nature that I am going to die and decay one day, and all these happiness that I experience through this sense objects are not permanent. Having that knowledge, why would I ask for something so transitive? So with this, the first Valli ends in the first Adhyaya. This is where Nachiketa asks for the Tritiya Vara, and it the second Valli. Now Yama is fully convinced, he is very happy. He first congratulates Nachiketa, so to say, that he has done a good job in selecting what is permanent, leaving away what is impermanent. So he has known this difference and he has selected the right thing. So for that, he starts in the second Valli, he starts appreciating him. He tells about the Shreyas and Preyas, and he is happy that Nachiketa has selected Preyas. He has rejected Preyas and selected Shreyas. te ube nanarte purusham shinitah tayo shreya adadanasya sadhu bhavati hiyate
adhatyau preyo vridite.
Anyat shreya, anyat utayeva preyah. So there is something called shreya, and there is a different one called preyah, where shreyas is preferable, it is the good thing, and preyas is pleasurable, it gives happiness. But whereas the shreyas is the one that is to be preferred. And ubhe nanarte purusham sinita. So different, their purpose is different. They will take you to different ends. This shreyas and preyas, they bind the people to different ends. So those who take the path of shreyas will reach a different goal, whereas those who take the path of shreyas will reach a different place. Tayoho shreyah adadhanasya sadhu bhavati. the one among these two, tayoh shreyaha adadanasya, one who chooses shreyaha, sa sadhuh bhavati, he will do well. Good things will happen to him. Artat hiyate, yaha upreyah vrinite, one who selects prayers, he will fall from artha. Which artha here? Purushartha, Chaturvita Purushartha. He would fall from his the goal of life. So he gets distracted, he's deviated, he won't reach the main goal of his life. The one who selects prayers. And next one, he is happy that Nachiketa has selected Shreyas.
श्रेयश्च प्रेयश्च
मनुष्यमेतः तौ सम्परीत्य विनक्ति धीरा
श्रेयो हि धीरो हि
प्रेयसो वृणीते प्रेयो मन्दो योगक्षेमात् वृणीते. Shreyascha preyascha manushya etah. So these two they approach the Shreyas and prayers, they both approach the men. Tau samparitya vivinakti dhiraha, what he does is he takes both samparitya, he carefully analyzes them, weighs them, and vivinakti, he differentiates them. He knows the results are different and how they are going to take him to different paths. Having analyzed all that, what the dhiraha does, shreyaha hi dhiraha abhipreyasah, he leaves prayers and he selects only the shreyas. Abhipreyasah shreya hi dhiraha vrinite, he selects only the shreyas. What do mandaha do? Mandaha preyah vrinite. And why they select, what is the reason for them to go behind prayers? Yoga kshemat, to obtain what they don't have and to retain what they already have. Those with lower intellects, they choose the path of pleasure than the preferable path of good. And the next one is again he tells how the viveka, he had the presence of mind, and how this Nachiketa has selected prayers. So this is prashamsha. Shankara is actually appreciating Nachiketa for having selected Shreyas. For each of the shloka, I have put this among the shlokas. What is this one? Shankaracharya in his commentary, what he has done is for each of the shloka, almost every single shloka, unless the next verse also continues on the same line, for each of them he has given some kind of a small subheading, and the topic also he has grouped a few together, and he has given another heading also. So like that, if you see in this example, among the shlokas on Yamakrita Nachiketasa Prashamsha, that is how Yama, the praise that was done by Yama praising Nachiketa, among those shlokas, this specific shloka is about Nachiketasaha Vivekaha, how wise Nachiketa has been, discriminatory skills. So that he is appreciating. Avidyam
अविद्यायामन्तरे
वर्तमानाः स्वयं धीराः पंडितं मन्यमानाः तन्द्रम्यमाणाः पर्यन्ति मूढाः अन्धेनैव नियमानायतान्ताः. So he is saying how some people who are idiotic, they go in the wrong direction. Avidyayam antare vartamanaha, those who are actually that they are immersed in ignorance, swayam dhiraha panditam manyamanaha, but they consider themselves to be wise men and having all the knowledge. Dandram dandramyamanaha. So they go round and round. So they don't reach the goal, and pariyanti, they go in the wrong path. Who these mudaha? And analogy he takes, andeneva niyamanaha yata andaha, like the blind person leading many blind people, they are not going to reach their destination because they don't have the right person guiding them. Same way, those that are in ignorance, they consider themselves to be very knowledgeable people, but they end up going in the wrong path and they go round. So here he is actually stressing the importance of getting this knowledge. He is giving the importance about this knowledge of Atmajnana, how it is important to have the right person, to know it from the right guru and not approach wrong people. So before actually starting off with the actual Atmajnana, having praised Nachiketa for the right choice for the boon, Yama is now explaining the importance of this jnana that he is going to provide, so that he would get all the attention and the person realizes how important and valuable this knowledge is, so that he would understand it properly from Yama.
श्रवणायापि बहुभिर्यो न
लभ्यः शृण्वन्तोऽपि बहवो यं न विद्युः आश्चर्यो वक्ता कुशलोऽस्य लब्धा आश्चर्यो ज्ञाता कुशलानुशिष्टः. श्रवणायाः अपि बहुभिः यः न लभ्यः. So he is not obtained, this knowledge is not obtained, though Shravanayaha api bahubhihi, they don't even get the opportunity to be hearing about this, to be able to hear something about this knowledge. So there are so many people who don't even get to hear about this knowledge. Okay, there are a few people who get to hear. What happens to them? Shrinvataha api bahavaha yamna vidyuhu. So there are a few people who get to hear this, but they are not able to understand it. Because it is very difficult to comprehend. Ascharya Vakta Kushalaha Asya Labdha. Ascharya Vakta Kushalaha, an expert who is able to explain it, such a teacher is Ascharya. It is wonderful, it is very rare to get such a person. Asya Labdha Ascharya Jnata Kushala Anushishtaha. By an expert, being taught by an expert. Kushala Anushishtaha Jnata, a person who is able to know it by learning it from a knowledgeable person. Such a Jnata, such a student is also very difficult to get. So here actually Yama, if we see in Kathopanishad, he is very happy with Nachiketa. At some point, he even says that it was foolish of me to wish for and obtain the status of Yama, because this also is not a permanent thing. I should have actually gone in for that Atmajnana, but I chose this. But you are a good person. You were able to discriminate this, and you are in fact even better than me, because you didn't fall for all of these, and you are choosing the Atmajnana. Okay, so all this greatness is fine. What do we get? So only when we say the benefit. Okay, the benefit of this session is for writing MA Kathopanishad paper well, then people get interest and they would like to listen to this. Like that, before proceeding with the knowledge, he clarifies as to what is the benefit he would get out of having this knowledge. That the final benefit is Matva Dhiro Harsha Shokau Jahati. Harsha Shoka, Harsha and Shoka. The happiness and the sorrow. The Dhira, the wise men, will give up this. They go beyond happiness and sorrow. So they enter a state where they are peaceful. So this is the benefit of this knowledge. Tam durdarsham gudamanupravishtam guhahitam gahvareshtam puranam adhyatmayogadhigamena devam matva dhiro harshashokau jahati. This one is kind of important in the sense it covers the nature of Atma to a large extent, though this is not actually the answer part. He is just explaining this to say how difficult it is. It is a difficult topic that he is going to take up, and it is a very beneficial one also. So for that, Emma is saying this about the nature of Tam Devam. Dhiraha, he describes that Devam Matva Harshashoko Jahati. So having known this conscious one, they give up happiness and sorrow. What is the nature of this conscious one? He says, Durdarsham. It is not easily perceivable. You can't see it. Gudam. It is hidden somewhere. It is not accessible. It is not easy to enter. So anupravishtam. So praveshanam is not possible there. And guhahitam. It is residing in a guha or cave. Here they say the hridayam, intellect. That is the cave where this Atma resides. Gahvareshtam. Gahvareshtam means it is very deep. The depth is more. And here Shankara clarifies that by depth he means the misery. So Gahvareshtam and Puranam. So it is seated in the midst of misery, saying that it is very deep, it is not easily accessible. So everything is about how difficult it is to reach. So those were the points, all of them. Durdarsham Gudam Anupravishtam Guhahitam Gahvareshtam. Now Puranam. It is very ancient, and the person knowing this, the intelligent man, the wise person knowing this, he gives up happiness and sorrow. But how does he know it? What is the process to know it? There he says, Adhyatma Yogadi Gamena. So he goes in the path of the spiritual life, spiritual disciplined life. That's how he is able to understand the nature of Atman, and due to that understanding, he is able to give up sorrow and happiness. And having said this, Yama now starts off with the actual teaching. Like in algebra and all, when we have an unknown, we say let's consider it to be x, then we apply all this, and finally we solve it for x. So like that, if we need something to a starting point, I don't understand it fully, but that unknown also, we put a symbol to that unknown and start understanding it better. Ultimate realization, we would know what that unknown is. Same way, for Brahman, the most appropriate symbol, he says, is Om. So he starts explaining about the significance of Om. So among the shlokas on Omkara Dvarena Brahmopatesha, he starts Brahmopatesha through Om, and here he says in this specific Omkara Sadhanatvam Brahma Praptehe. So for Brahma Prapti, Omkara is the sadhana, that is the means. That is how a person can reach it. Sarve Veda Yat Padamamananti Tapamsi Sarvani Chayat Vadanti Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravimi Om Ityetat. Actually, if you see, there are very many shlokas that appear in Bhagavad Gita that are taken from Kathopanishad. This is one such. In many of the shlokas, it is just verbatim. Whatever words you find here, the same words would even come in Gita also. So here, Sarve Veda Yat Padam Amananti. So all they talk about which one. Here Padam voice they say, but yeah, so that which is spoken by all the Vedas, tapamsi sarvani cha yat vadanti, through the tapas, all the austerities that the yogis perform. So what do they gain? Though all those austerities speak of only this one truth, and yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti, those aspirants who take to brahmacharya vrita, so all of them, what is their goal? Looking on to what they take the path of brahmacharya, yad ichantah, wishing that only they take to the path of brahmacharya. That thing is that thing, tad te padam sangrahena bravimi. I'll tell you what that is in a short form. Very briefly, I'll tell you what it is. Om iti etat. That is only Om. Om is that thing which is spoken by all the Vedas, and all the austerities also speak of it, and only deciding that Om, all the brahmacharis, they take to brahmacharya. I'm telling you that in a sangrahena forms, consolidating and telling you briefly. Again, next verse, a couple of verses about Om only, significance of Om.
Taddhevaksharam Brahma, Etaddhevaksharam Param, Etaddhevaksharam Jnatva, Yo Yadichasi Tasya Tat.
Etaddhevaksharam Brahma. This aksharam is only the Brahma. This aksharam, verily this aksharam is the supreme param. Etadhi eva aksharam gyatva, having known this akshara, yaha yad ichati tasya tatu, whatever one wishes, they will get that. So here obviously a person who has known this Om and the significance of Om, how it is supreme, is not going to wish for anything less. But here the promise is yo yat ichati tasya tat, they will get whatever they wish for.
Etadalambanam shreshtam, etadalambanam param, etadalambanam jnatva, brahmaloke mahiyate.
Okay, this is the support or the medium that one should take to. So whoever wants to go in this Adhyatma Yoga, the suggestion is take to Om. Take the support of Om. Etad alambanam shreshtam. That is the best thing to be done. Etad alambanam param. This is the supreme. There is no better thing than taking to Om. Etad alambanam jnatva. Having known that this is the best support, those who take to it, brahmaloke mahiyate. So they are able to enjoy in the world of Brahma. So then he continues about the nature of the Atma. So Atma Swarupa, like that if they ask, we will have to quote this one. This again is taken verbatim in Gita.
Najayate mriyate va vipaschite, nayam kutaschinna babhuva kaschite, ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha, nahanyate hanyamane sharire.
Few words are changed. There najayate mriyate va kaschit probably comes there. Yeah, in Gita. So here najayate mriyate va vipaschit. This conscious being, it is neither born nor it dies. Kutaschit, it is kutaha, it has not come from any place, it is not created, it doesn't have an origin. Na bhabuva kaschit, it does not create anything, from it nothing else originates. Ajaha, it is beyond birth. Nityaha, it is eternal, it stays always. Shashvataha, so again same, eternal, undecaying, ever remaining. I am Puranaha, this one is very ancient. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So even if the sharira, hanyamane sharire sati saptami, even when the sharira dies or gets killed, even when the body gets killed, the soul is not getting killed, is not injured, is not impacted. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire comes in Gita also. And further proceeding,
अणोरणीयान् महतो महीयान् आत्मास्य जन्तोर्निहितं गुहायां तमक्रतुः पश्यति वीतशोकः धातुप्रसादात् महिमानमात्मनः अशरीरं
Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. Anuhu, even it is subtler than the subtle, it is smaller than whatever is the smallest possible object. Mahato Mahiyan. It is bigger than any of the biggest objects. So it is so great at the same time so subtle. Atma asya jantoho nihitam guhayam. So it is hidden in the guha or the cave of the heart or the intellect. So it is captured there inside every jantu, every creature. Within every creature hidden is this Atma. Tam akratuhu pashyati vita shokaha akratuhu. Those who have given up shoka, those who are not worried, those people akratuhu, they are not worried because they don't have any desire. So these akratuhu who don't have any desires, they have given up their shoka, and those are the people who are able to see it. So that person who has given up shoka and he doesn't have any more desires, that person will be able to see it, or he sees it. How? Dhatu prasadat mahimanam atmanah. He is able to see what? This atmanah mahimanam. The greatness of this atma. Dhatu prasadat. Dhatu is like the components, the basic components. So in our case, the basic components are our mind and the senses. Prasadat, due to their purity. So due to the purity of their mind and senses, because he has given up all his shoka and doesn't have any more desires, he is able to actually realize the greatness of the self. Ashariram sharireshu anavastishvavasthitam mahantam vibhumatmanam matva dhiro na shochati. Ashariram sharireshu. So even though the self exists within the body, it is bodiless. It is not constrained by the body. It is without a body. So ashariram sharireshu anavasteshu avasthitam. So the body of course is impermanent, but it is avasthitam. It can stay always. It is a permanent thing. So the Atma is bodiless, it is permanent, though it resides in the body, in this impermanent body. And Mahantam Vibhum Atmanam Matva, having known that this Atma is Mahantam, it is very great, and Vibhum, it is Sarvavyapi, it is present everywhere. Knowing this, Dhiraha na shochati. So, knowing that it is all-pervading and the greatness of the Atman, the wise people, they do not grieve, they do not feel sad for anything. Now, how to obtain this? Having known about this Atma, a little bit on. Ayam-atma pravachanena labhyah na medhaya na bahuna shrutena yame vaisha vrunate tena labhyah tasya yesha atma vrunate tanum swam. Na ayam atma pravachanena labhyah. Pravachana is all the spiritual knowledge. So by reading all the spiritual knowledge, one cannot obtain this Atma. Na medhaya. Okay, somebody is very intelligent, but that is not just enough to obtain the knowledge about the Atma. Na medhaya na bahuna shrutena. Even hearing a lot, it is not assured that just a person going and sitting in all the lectures doesn't make a person a realized soul. Yameva Esha Vrunute Tena Labhyah. Here it is interesting. In our book, I think we'll have to check. It is given that it is obtained by such a person, he whom alone the self chooses. So the Atma chooses the person, and to him it reveals itself. But I just came across Shankara Bhashyam, one sentence is given where he says Eshaha Sadakaha. So the interesting thing about Shankara Bhashyam or any Bhashyam for that matter is what they do is they put the shloka in the Anvaya order, and they use the term that is there in the shloka, and after the each term, that is typically how all these commentaries are written. After the shloka, after the term that is used in the shloka, they will put its pariyaya padam, something that we can understand, easily understandable term. So there he is clarifying, because there is yam, there is yeshah, there is tena, this, that, him, by him, and all that is there, which is what is not very clear. So here it is very clearly mentioned, eshah sadakah yam swatmanam. So esha refers to the sadakah and yam refers to swatmanam, the atma, and eva vrunate. So that then who selects only atmanam, only selects the atman, vivrunate, prarthayate. Vivrunate means prarthayate. Tena eva varitra atmana atma swayam labhyah. Labhyah iti chet nyayate ityetat. So tena eva varitra atmana. Varitra means the selected, by the selected atman. Tena eva, by that selected atman only, atma swayam labhyah. Atma will be nyayate, it will be known. So here what it means is the sadhaka has to select only the atma. So basically he has to give up the other desires and focus on, he should have this keen, that's why we say seeker, he should have this keen interest to know about the self, giving up everything else. To such a person will the self reveal itself. And how does it do? Tasya esha atma vivrunate tanum swam. Swam tanum, its true nature, it will reveal to that person who has interest only in knowing this, and he gives up others. And this is not understandable by someone who just reads through the scriptures, nor one who has a great intellect, or the one who goes and listens to many lectures. So this is something where the aspiration has to be there. And clarifying who are not eligible.
न विरतो दुश्चरितात् न शान्तो न समाहितः न शान्तो मनसोऽपि प्रज्ञानेनैनमाप्नुयात्.
Na viratah duscharitat. Duscharitat, bad conduct. Na aviratah, one who has not separated himself from bad conduct. Basically one who is following, doing bad things. By him, na apnuyat, he cannot obtain this knowledge of the Atman. So this is the who are not eligible to receive the Atmajnana. First is those who are going in the wrong path, doing wrong things. They are not eligible to know about this Atmajnana. Next is Ashantaha. Ashantaha is the senses, those who have not controlled their senses. So they do not qualify. Samahitah. So, sama, the concentration, those who don't have, those who have not controlled their mind, and those who are not able to concentrate, so they are not qualified. Ashantah manasah vapi. Earlier was ashantah was to refer to the senses. Here ashantah manasah, one whose mind is not controlled, it is not pacified. Those people, prajnanena enam na, so those people cannot obtain this knowledge, even though it is provided, this knowledge, even though they hear it, they sit through it. So the point here for us to note here is, so we may hear about it, we may go read about it, hear all the lectures, but what needs to be done is to avoid doing bad things, to control the senses, to control the minds, pacify it, make it stay cool, and then only will this knowledge be the knowledge about the self will be understood. Okay, so with this the second valli is completed. The third valli has the famous metaphor of comparing the human with the body, mind, intellect, this with the ratha or the chariot. So for is it fine? Divya, Harini, you are able to hear me? Fine? No issues? Shall I proceed?
Yeah, it is clear.
Okay. So this is the third valli within the first adhyaya, and this is the often quoted when we say Kathopanishad. This is the metaphor that is often quoted.
आत्मानं रतिनं विद्धि शरीरं रतमेव तु बुद्धिं तु सारथिं विद्धि मनः प्रग्रहमेव च इन्द्रियाणि हयान्याहुः विषयांस्तेषु गोचरान् आत्मेन्द्रियमनोयुक्तं भोक्तेत्याहुर्मनीषिणः यस्तु अविज्ञानवान् भवति अयुक्तेन मनसा सदा तस्येन्द्रियाण्यवश्यानि दुष्टाश्वा इव सारथेः यस्तु विज्ञानवान् भवति युक्तेन मनसा सदा तस्येन्द्रियाणि वश्यानि सदश्वा इव सारथेः विज्ञानसारथिर्यस्तु मनः प्रग्रहवान् नरः सोऽध्वनः पारमाप्नोति तद्विष्णोः परमं पदम्.
Yeah, so Atmanam Ratinam Vidhi. Know this Atma to be the Rati, the owner of the chariot. So the self, the Atma is to be treated as the owner of the chariot. So in this metaphor, Shariram Ratam Evatu. The body is the chariot, the owner is the Atma. Buddhim tu Sarathim Vidhi. The intellect is the driver of the Ratham, and Mana Pragraham Evacha. The reins that control the horses, that is the mind. Indriyani Hayan Ahuhu. Hayani Ahuhu. Indriyani Hayani. So the senses are the horses. Vishayan Steshu Gocharan. The sense objects that the senses go towards. The sense objects are the spheres where the horses go towards them. Atmendriya mano yuktam bhokta iti ahuhu manishinaha. Atma indriya manaha. The sum total of this Atma, all the senses and the mind, this total, the self that comprises of all this is the one that actually enjoys. He is the bhokta, and so say the wise men. Bhokta iti ahuhu manishinaha. All the wise men say that the enjoyer is that that the enjoyer is the one who is associated, yuktaha, who is associated with the body, senses and the mind. So through the body, through the senses and the mind is how a person enjoys. Yes, yahatu avijnanavan bhavati ayuktena manasa sada. When a person is having uncontrolled mind, avijnanavan, his knowledge is also not perfect. He has ignorance there. When an ignorant person who has not controlled his mind, if such a person is there, what happens to him? So consider there is a Sarathi who is not good, and he is not holding the reins properly. What will it result in? Dushta ashvaha iva saratehe. So that will become like the bad horses who are not under the control of the Sarathi. Tasya indriyani avashyani. So his senses will go hayway. They will not be controlled unless a person is intelligent, smart, and uses his mind to control the senses. If that is not done, the senses will go hayway behind various sense pleasures, like bad horses which are not controlled by using the reins by a smart or a good driver. Yastu vijnanavan bhavati yuktena manasa sada. Contrary, the counter example, vijnanavan, if a person is smart enough and he is able to control his mind, tasya indriyani vashyani, all the senses will come under his control. If you are able to control the mind, the senses will automatically come under your control. Sadasva iva sharatehe, like the good horses that just obey the orders of the master, the driver, like that, all the senses will listen to you. If you control, by having the right intelligence, if you can control the mind, all this will come under your control. And a couple of verses where he explains the same thing. Then for this metaphor, the conclusion he gives this way: Vijnana saratihi yahatu mana pragrahavan naraha. Vijnanavan sarati, an intelligent intellect, a smart intellect or an intelligent driver here in this metaphor. Mana pragrahavan naraha, who is able to control the mind, such a person, saha advana paramapnoti, he is able to cross over this path. Tat Vishnoha Paramam Padam. So where does he reach having crossed over this path? So that is the ultimate goal, Paramam Padam. That is the supreme goal, that is Vishnoha Paramam Padam. That is the supreme ultimate goal of life he is able to achieve. Only the person who controls with a discriminating intellect, controlling the mind, and through the mind controlling the senses, such a person will reach the highest goal of life. And further, having talked about the senses and mana, all that, he explains how they differ. Their hierarchy is explained here. This is again found in Gita also. Indriyebhyah parahyarthaah artebhyascha param manah manasastu para buddhihi buddhiratma mahan paraha. Indriyebhyah paraha hi arthaha. Arthaha are the sense objects. So sense objects, the indriya. So through the ear we hear sounds. Through the eyes we see the sight. So the sound that we hear, the sight that we see, all these are greater than the actual organ itself. That we would agree. So what is the use of eyes if we can't see? So sight is important there. So these sense objects are beyond the senses, but what is beyond them? Indriyebhyah parahi artaha artebhyascha param manah. Manah becomes even it is beyond all these senses and sense objects. Manasaha para buddhihi. The intellect is greater than the mind. Buddhehe atma mahan paraha. There is a mahan atma. also referred to as Mahat itself. This Mahat is greater than Buddhi. So what they say about this Atma is greater than Buddhi. I think that this repeat in the next Adhyaya also, where these concepts are explained again.
Matah param avyaktam avyaktat purushah parah purushanna param kinchit sa kashtha sa paragatihi uttisht.
Mahatah param avyaktam. So beyond Mahat, what is greater is avyaktam, the unmanifest form. Mahat is called the great Mahat, Atma, Mahanatma, or Mahat is again a concept. In this philosophy, we have Mahat, we have Avyaktam, and we have Purushaha. And here Purusha and Prakriti, these two are Avyaktam, they are unmanifest. They are not visible, they don't have a manifestation, they don't have a name or a form. And here Purusha is said to be something that is passive, you could say, and the Prakriti or the Avyaktam is the active part of it, like Shiva and Shakti, they say. So Purushaha and the Avyaktam, they both come together and form this Mahat, and from Mahat then comes all your Buddhi, Manas and Priyani. So how the example again that can be taken here is the seed. When a tree has not come out of it, it is inherently it possesses a tree inside, but the tree is not visible. So that is the unmanifest form. And this Mahat is when it starts sprouting. So that is when it is started to manifest. The first manifestation is the Mahat, and as it grows, it spreads out widely into various flowers and things. So those become the other parts, whereas this Mahat is the totality of all the intellects. So when we say based on my buddhi I take a decision, but it is actually influenced by so many other things. So I might have listened to my friends, I might have listened to my parents or elders, whatever they have spoken to me. So there are other influencing factors. Probably all these are considered as the collective total intellect. So that is even more powerful than the individual intellect. The individual intellect depends on this collective intellect, which is the Mahat. And beyond this is the Avyakta, the unmanifest form. So when they say in Pralaya everything goes and it becomes that unmanifest and only Purusha exists, and then during creation again, step by step all of these come. The Purusha, Avyakta, Mahat, and then all the Buddhi, Manas, etc. The next one is very famous one, quoted because Vivekananda used it. But Uttishtata Jagrata Prapyavara Nibodhata, in Vivekananda's quotation they would say as rise awake, stop not till the goal is reached, but there is no stop not till the goal is reached here. It is slightly different in the meaning. The literal meaning of Prapyavara Nibodhata is different. We'll see that. Uttishtata Jagrata
Uttishtata jagrata prapyavaraन् nibodhata shirasya dhara nishita duratyaya durgam patastat kavayo vadanti.
Uttishtata, arise, Jagrata, awake, Prapyavaran, having obtained best of the best teachers, Nibodhata, get enlightenment, get the knowledge, be the one who is enlightened. Shurasya dhara, this is the edge of a razor. It is Nishita, very sharp. Duratyaya, it is very difficult to cross. For crossing it is very difficult. Durgam pataha, tad kavayaha vadanti. What do wise men say? They say that etad pataha durgam. They say that it is a very difficult path, it is a protected path, very difficult. It is sharp. It is it is to highlight that it is you need to put proper effort. You can't just easily get it. So Shankara says sukshma syam atmano darshanartam yogah. This specific one is yatnah kartavyata upadeshah. Atma darshana yatna. You need to put that effort. That's why Yama is saying Uttishtata Jagrata. So make some effort. Go approach great teachers and get enlightenment from them. It is not going to be very easy. I assure you, it is not an easy thing. Yeah, you need to put effort. You need to struggle, strive for it. The spiritual path is going to be difficult, but that is the one that you need to take if you want that ultimate permanent happiness. So this is the upadesha that Yama gives. So with this stressing on the importance of Atmajnana, saying that this is the one for giving up sorrow and happiness and going to the next level, leaving all these sorrows. He concludes the first adhyaya, and at the conclusion of the first adhyaya they say that this has to be recited on the 13th day of the Shraddha and all that for the soul. Kind of a palastuti is also given there, the benefit of reciting this knowledge and all that. And then in the second adhyaya he continues. At least half an hour more it will take. Is it okay to continue?
Yeah, no. Continue. It's okay for me, Nivedita, because there will be some completion, no? So it's fine with me.
Also. Can continue. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, from exam perspective, from the second adhyaya, there are very less quotations, only less points. But the main part in second adhyaya is about the Brahman. So in the earlier, it was more of an individual soul, the body, mind, intellect, and all those. Here, saying how the Brahman is the same Atman. And to begin with, he says how why people miss it. If it is so important, how is it that nobody gets it? So for that he explains.
Paranchikhani vitrinat swayambhuh tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman kaschidhirah pratyagatmanamaikshat avritta chakshuramartatvam
Paranchikani Vyatrinat Swayambhuh. Swayambhuh, the Brahman, self-created Brahman, what he did was, when he created the Jagat, during the creation of the Jagat, Paranchikani, all the senses, I think Ka is it indicates the sound and hence the senses, the Indriyas. So these senses he made. Akasha. So the sound, because of the sound, it indicates all the senses. Akasha Janyani. Khani is those that are created from Akasha. What is created from Akasha here means only the sound, and by saying sound they mean all the sense organs. So Paranchi Khani Vyatrinat Swayambhuh. The senses have been made outgoing, so it is turned outwards. And Vyatrinat is a term which says by doing this he has caused hurt to me. He disturbed it. He mixed it up. Himsitavan, Hananam Kritavan. God purposely he made it faulty. It's like blaming the God. that he turned everything outwards. Tasmat parang pashyati na antaratman. That is why the jivatmas, the people or a person is not able to see inside, because it is turned outside. All the senses are turned outside, and it is all seeing or hearing things that are outside. Tasmat parang pashyati na antaratman. So it is not able to see inside, and it is seeing only outside. Kascha dhiraha pratyagatmanam aikshat. Kaschid dhiraha, some wise person. Here it means probably Nachiketa himself. So some wise man, what he did was pratyagatmanam aikshat. He wished and he saw the atma that is inside. And how did he do that? Avritta chakshuhu. He turned his eyes inside, and that's how he saw. He wished and he saw the atman inside. Why did he do that? Amrtatvam icchan. He wanted immortality, knowing that whatever the sensual pleasures that are there outside are so transitory, they are not permanent, they are temporary. One wise person, what he did, he turned his eyes inside, he turned his senses inside, and seeking this immortality, permanent happiness, he saw the pratyagatmanam, he saw the atman that is inside. Parancha kaman anuyanti balaha. So wise men did that, but what do generally other people do? Parancha kaman anuyanti balaha te mrityoryanti vitatasya pasham atha dhira amrutatvam viditva dhruvam adhruveshu ihana prarthayante. Parancha kaman anuyanti balaha. Balaha here means those who don't have the right intelligence to discriminate between permanent and impermanent. So such ignorant people, anuyanti kaman, parancha kaman, the outward pleasures they seek. Te mrityoh yanti vitatasya pasham. Te vitatasya mrityoh pasham yanti. What do they get? They get only the they go towards only the death. It's a snare. It catches them. Basically, death catches them. They go towards death. Atha dhiraha amrtatvam viditva. Whereas the dhiraha, the intelligent people, amrtatvam viditva, they want Divya, any news? I think Katti sir, Hima, so many people from our group are trying to reach me now.
Oh,
I have not been following the group, our MA Rasa group.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Okay, fine.
No, maybe for tomorrow's class, maybe they want to talk.
Okay.
Okay.
Atha dhiraha amrtatvam viditva. So the dhiraha, the wise, contrary to that, the wise people, what they do, amrtatvam viditva, they have realized about this immortality, and they don't seek the unstable, amongst the unstable, they don't seek the stable. So all these are temporary. They realize these are temporary, and if they want permanent happiness, they don't go towards the temporary things. So dhruvam adhruveshu iha na prarthayante. They don't look for, they don't seek the dhruvam, the stable amongst these adhruveshu, all these unstable things. Those who want immortality, those dhiras, the wise people, they avoid getting into all these unstable things. Swapnantam jagaritantam chobhuyenanupashyati mahantam vibhumatmanam matva dhiro na shochati. Swapnantam jagaritantam cha ubhau yena anupashyati. Yena anupashyati, by which you are able to see, perceive. When swapnantam, jagaritantam, when you are awake and when you are sleeping, by which are you able to see? So when I am awake, I am seeing because of the sun, I am seeing because of this tube light or some other light. Because of those light, if you think you are seeing, then what is it that brightens things up when you are sleeping? So when you are asleep, this light is not there. So how is it that you are able to perceive things? So this eye is not there when you are sleeping. You are not hearing using this these set of ears. So that through which, by which we are able to perceive things, not just sleep, both in sleep and in our wakeful state, that is the Mahantam Vibhum Atmanam. So that is the Mahan Atma. That is the great Atma, Vibhum, that which is permeates everywhere. So that is the kind of Atma. Yeah. Say that again.
Okay. This can also be used for Atma Swarupa.
Yeah. Yeah, this also describes what is Atman. I think we should make a list of the Atma Swarupa which are directly describing Atma. I have something, I'll share that also.
Also for Agni Tattva, Agni, importance of Agni, I have noted down in my book. So at the end of this, I'll just mention, you can tick in your books also.
Which Agni?
See, Nachiketa Agni, there is a chapter separately, Nachiketa Agni, but throughout the book, throughout the Upanishads, there are mentions of that, which I have marked.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to discriminate. When we are saying Agni, because the term is used in two contexts. One is the Nachiketa Agni or the Swarga Agni. The other is even for the self, they use the term Agni at places. I think in the exam questions, they have asked about Swarga Agni or Nachiketa Agni. Not sure if they have used the term Agni to refer to Atma in the exam. We'll have to check that.
Okay, okay.
Okay, swapnantam jagaritantam cha ubhau yena anupashyati mahantam vibhum atmanam matva dhiraha na shochati. So having understood this great Atma, the wise men, they give up sorrow, they don't grieve. Here, as you said, Agni comes here. But here it refers to not the ritual Agni, this refers to the consciousness only. Garbhaiva subrutau garpinibhihi dive diva ityo jagravadbihi havishmadbir manusheviragnihi etat vaitat aranyo nihitajjata vedaha. So aranyoho pair dvivachanam there. Two pieces of wood, the fire wood rubbing which we can get the fire. Nihitaha, it is hidden. Jata vedaha, the fire is hidden in the fire sticks. Garbha iva subrataha garbhinibhi, by the garbinis. How the garbha is subrataha, they nourish it and protect it and they safeguard it. Taking these two examples, like the Agni that is hidden in the fire sticks, like the garbha that is well protected by the garbinis. Divedi manushyebihi agnihi idyaha. This Agni or this consciousness is worshipped, idyaha, every day by these people. Who are those people? Jagravadbihi, havishmadbihi. Those who stay awake, that is the people who are seekers, inquirers, probably taking the path of jnana, and havishmadbihi, those who offer the fire sacrifices, the homa, yajnadi karmas, those who do those, probably can take them to be people following the karma yoga. So by these two sets of people, this Agni is being worshipped. It is present, hidden, like the Agni present within the fire sticks, and it is safeguarded like how a Garbhini protects the Garbha. And Etat Vaitat, this often repeats in Kathopanishad. So Yama points out that this is the Atma that you have been asking about.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. In our ritual, after during the marriage ceremony, there is one havan. Then they give the couple one samittu. So that is supposed to be Agni for us. So whenever we do any homam, that has to be taken out. That is called Upasana. I don't know
we
if
have it in us also, Upasana. Now, these days we don't have that Agni, only that Patra we have, and probably just keep it.
We keep the Samittu. We keep the two Samittu also. So,
yeah, but it is supposed to be always glowing. That Agni should not be turned off. It is said that every day, because of the performance of that Agni every day, it never dies down. It is maintained for the rest of the life. The person is expected to continue the homa every day.
Correct. Yeah, I just remembered, so thought of relating it to it. Continue, Nivedita.
Yes. Yeah, proceeding. मनसैवेदमाप्तव्यम् नेहनानास्ति किञ्चन मृत्योः समृत्युं गच्छति य इह नानेव पश्यति मनसा एव इदम् आप्तव्यम्. So this self has to be realized only by the mind. So the question is, should we give up all the mind, body, mind and all? If they are at the lower level, is it to be given up? No, it is required. Mind is required to realize the self. It is a means, it is to be used. And the main point here in this shloka is only because of ignorance it is seen differently. The same Atma resides in every person, but because of ignorance, people treat each person differently. And using the mind, they should realize that the Atma is the same within everyone. Manasa eva idam aptavyam iha kinchana nana na asti. So pretty much in Bhajagovindam also Shankara says the same thing. Tvai mayi cha anyatra ekah vishnu dartam kupyasi mayasa hishnuho bhava samachitta sarvatatvam vanchasi achirat yadi vishnutvam. So if you want to achieve that vishnutva, bhava samachitta, have keep the mind calm. Tvai mayi cha anyatra ekah eva vishnu. So the same Atma is there in me and you vyartam kupyasi. Why are you unnecessarily being angry with me? So the same thing is here. Iha kinchana nana na asti. There are no differences in the objects that we see here. Iha nana iva pashyati. It seems as though each person, my relationship with each person is different. Why does it seem so? When it due to ignorance only, it seems that way. We have different kind of relationships with different people. Iha nana iva pashyati. Once you start differentiating individual atmas, some mrutyoha mrutyam gacchati. Like Shankara says, punarapi jananam punarapi maranam. So what happens is, such a person will go from one death to another death. So they will have repeated birth.
यथोदकं दुर्गे वृष्टं पर्वतेषु विधावति एवं धर्मान् पृथक् पश्यन् तानेवानुविधावति.
So here he concludes the first valli giving an example. Yathodakam durge vrishtam parvateshu vidhavati. The water that rains on Durga, the peak of the mountain, on all the rocks, it goes in different directions. Evam dharman pratak pashyan. similarly, the one who sees each person as all the entities as different, tan eva anuvidhavati, he goes behind different things. So because of giving thinking that those are real and those are different, people with ignorance go behind those things. And the counter example is also given. The water that falls on pure water, as it continues to remain pure, same way when you see the same self in everybody, the person reaches the supreme. He becomes one with the supreme. So with this, the Prathama Valli, that is the fourth Valli of Kathopanishad, or the Prathama Valli of the second Adhyaya, completes. Next is Dvitiya Valli within the second Adhyaya.
Agnir yataiko bhuvanam pravishtaha rupam rupam pratirupo babhuva ekastatha sarvabhutantaratma rupam rupam pratirupo bahischa.
Agnir yatha Agnir yatha ekah bhuvanam pravishtaha. So having entering the world, Agni ekah eva. So Agni is only one, but rupam rupam pratirupaha babhuva. He takes the form of the objects that he is now burning. So iron ball, the fire is also seen as a round ball. So same way, tatha ekah sarva bhutantaratma. There is only one Atma, which is present in all the beings. Rupam rupam pratirupaha bahischa babhuva. So it takes on the individual forms of within each individual and also outside them. So the point is, he takes the respective forms and he is also existing outside also. Similar to the example of fire, very similar verse, just one word change. It applies to Vayu also. Vayur yathaiko bhuvanam pravishtaha. Vayur yathaiko bhuvanam pravishtaha.
Bhuvanam pravishtaha
Rupam rupam pratirupo babhuva ekastatha sarvabhutantaratma rupam rupam pratirupo bahischa.
suryo yatha sar.
So Vayuh yatha ekah bhuvanam pravishtaha. The Vayu, air also, whatever object it enters, it takes that shape. Same way, Sarva Bhutantaratma, the one Atma that is present in everybody, takes different forms inside them and even outside them. Then, so one, because it is inside, is it tainted? Is it polluted by where it is? I think this, this comes in Gita also. The how it is not untainted, though it enters everywhere. How it remains untainted. Takes the example of Akasha. The Vayu spreads everywhere, but it is not tainted by the objects here. So same way here, the Surya example is given. Suryo yatha sarvalokasya chakshuhu. Suryo yatha sarvalokasya chakshuhu.
Sarvalokasya chakshuhu.
न लिप्यते चाक्षुषैर्बाह्यदोषैः एकस्तथा सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा न लिप्यते लोकदुःखेन बाह्यः. So Surya yatha sarvalokasya chakshuhu. So Surya is the eye for the entire world. Na lipyate, he is not touched, he is not tainted, he is not polluted. Chakshushaihi bahya doshaihi, by the outside faults of what is being seen. The sun is not affected. Same way, ekah tata sarva bhutantaratma na lipyate loka dukkhena bahyah dukkhena na lipyate. He is not impacted by the miseries of the world which are present outside. The Atma that is inside, though it remains in the body, as it is, the Atma is not tainted by the actions of the body.
सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा
एकं रूपं बहुधा यः करोति तमात्मस्तं येन पश्यन्ति धीराः तेषां सुखं शाश्वतं नेतरेषाम् एको वशी सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा. So this ekah vashi, he is the controller. Sarvabhutantaratma, he is inside all the beings. That self, he is the single controller. Ekam rupam bahuda yah karoti. He who makes it seen as different. There is only one rupa, but he is making it seem as though they are different. Tam atmastam. So that atma which is residing inside, ye anupashyati, ye dhiraha anupashyati. Those intelligent people who are able to see that atman inside, which is the single ruler, which creates this impression of different things, for that dhiraha tesham shukam shashvatam na itaresham. Their happiness is eternal, their happiness is permanent, not others. So others going after outside things, their happiness will not be permanent, whereas here this dhiraha, their happiness is permanent. And what do? They are able to see the Atma inside. And what is the nature of the Atma? This is the Atma which is the controller, which is present in everybody, and it creates this manifold impression, though it has only one form. Natatra Suryo. Now Nachiketa asks, how do I see the Atma? How is it lightened up? So Yama clarifies that it is Swayam Prakashah. Natatra Suryo Bhati. Natatra Suryo Bhati na Chandra Tarakam. Na ima vidyutah bhanti kutoyam agnihi. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. Na tatra suryo bhati. The sun does not shine there. Na chandra tarakam. Neither the moon nor the stars. Na imaha vidyutah. All these lightnings, they don't shine there. Kutaha ayam agnihi. Not to speak of this Agni. Even that Agni doesn't shine there. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Because of its shine, anubhati, it shines sarvam. Everything else is shining because of its shine. Tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. So they are all only reflecting the light that they get from this Atman. Without the Atman, there is no light in the Surya, Chandra, Taraka, Vidyut or Agni. They all are illumined by this light only, the light of the Atman. So this is again nature of the self. Another thing very famous in the Gita, Urdhva Mula Adashakah. This is the third final valli. Adashakah Esha Ashwatta Sanatanaha Tadeva Shukram Tad Brahma Tadevamritam Uchyate Tasmin Lokashrita Sarve Tadananeti Kaschana Etadvaitat. Urdhva Mulaha Avakshakaha. So Mulaha, the roots are up. Avakshakaha, the shakas are all below. Esha Ashwattaha Sanatanaha. This is an eternal Ashwatta tree. Tadeva Shukram. This one is alone bright. Tad Brahma. This is Brahman. And Tadeva Amritam Ashnute Uchyate. Tadeva Amritam Uchyate. The wise men call this as Amritam, the immortality. tasmin lokaha shrutaha sarve. Sarve lokaha tasmin shrutaha. All the lokas are inside it. Tadu na atyati kaschana. Nobody can cross over it. Nobody can go beyond it. Etat vai tat. This is that which you had asked. This is that Atma. So the representation of the Atma as being the source with its root up and all the branches coming down. So this is the Samsara Vriksha. Talking about the Brahma, how powerful it is. Okay, I'll take this call from Madam. No, I'm in a session. No, not coming today. I'll call you up before coming. I'm taking a session on Kathopanishad. Oh, okay. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I would call you before coming. Any day if I'm coming, I'll call you. I'm taking a session on Kathopanishad. I'll show it to you when I come. Thank you, ma'am. Madam Vanita Ramsam.
They have something on today?
No, I had told her that I might come on Tuesday or Thursday. Not with us, so she was worried. Bhayad, the Brahmana Swarupam, Bhayadasya Agni Tapati.
Bhayadasya Agnistapati
Bhayad Tapati Suryaha, Bhayad Indrascha Vayuscha, Mrityor Bhavati Panchamaha. So, how powerful this Atma is, to say that is the supreme force which controls the entire universe. Bhayad Asya Agnihi Tapati. Fearing this Brahman only, Agni is Agni burns. Basically, he does his duty. Bhayad Tapati Surya. Surya functions. He does the duty of burning or giving light, fearing this Brahman. Bhayat Indrascha Vayuscha, Mrityor Dhavati Panchamaha. The fifth one, that is Mrityu. First four are Agni, Surya, Indra and Vayu. The fifth one being Mrityu here. Panchamaha Mrityuhu, Dhavati, he runs, fearing this Brahman only. So Brahmanoho Bhayahetutvam. Jagan Niyantru Brahma. That Brahma is the one that controls the entire Jagat. Indriyebhyah param manaha manasah sattvam sattvat mahan atma mahato vyaktamuttamam.
Avyaktattu parah purushah vyapako linga evacha yam yatva muchyate jantuhu amrutatvam cha gacchati.
Okay, again the same order that we had seen earlier. There probably Atman was described, here Brahman is described, and you'll say that both are the same. So Indriyebhyah param manaha, manasaha sattvam uttamam. Sattvam here refers to the intellect. Sattvat adi mahan atma. So the mahat is greater than sattva, and mahataha avyaktam uttamam. So greater than mahat is this avyaktam. Avyaktattu paraha purushaha. Purushaha is the greatest. It is greater than avyakta. And what is the nature of this purusha? So if they ask about Brahma Swarupam, we will have to give this. Vyapakaha alinga evacha. Vyapakaha, sarva vyapi, all pervading, and alingaha, there is nothing to indicate it, how it will be. So nameless, formless. Alingaha evacha yam gyatva muchyate jantuhu. So they obtain mukti, the jantuhu, the entities, they all obtain mukti knowing this Brahman. Amrtatvam cha gacchati. So they are released from this bondage, and also they attain amritatva or immortality. That's it. Those were the important verses. We'll just go through the final Palastuti and all that, where he again and again he mentions about Angushta Matra Purushaha Antaratma Sada Jananam Hridaye Sannivishtaha. So Angushta Matra Purushaha, this Purusha is in the size of a thumb. He resides in the heart of people. Angushtamatra Purushaha Antaratma Sada Jananam Hridaye Sannivishtaha. He always resides in the heart of the people. So knowing this, Tad Vidya Shukram Amritam. So Tad Vidya Shukram. So about this knowledge, this Atma knowledge is the brightest one, and it is leads to immortality. And the Falastuti is also given.
अंगुष्टमात्रः पुरुषोऽन्तरात्मा सदा जनानां हृदये सन्निविष्टः तं स्वाक्षरीरात् प्रबृहेन् मुञ्जादिवेशिकां धैर्येण तं विद्यात् शुक्रम् अमृतम् तं विद्यात् शुक्रम् अमृतम् इति मृत्युप्रोक्तां नचिकेतोऽथ लब्ध्वा विद्यामेतां योगविधिं च कृत्स्नम् ब्रह्म प्राप्तो विरजो भूत् विमृत्युः अन्योऽप्येवं यो विदध्यात्ममेव.
So with this, tam vidyat shukram amritam. Know that to be lotlakar. Know that to be shukram and amritam. So know this angushta matra purusha that is there, and so final instruction is know it, and it concludes saying that Nachiketa realized it, and he got that Brahma Prapti. And every Upanishad has the specific Shanti mantra for this. We will conclude with the Shanti mantra.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Veeryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Okay. So with that concludes. Just a quick look at the important questions. Are you able to see the screen? Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, yes, we are able to see.
So the important questions, one is the conversation between Yama and Nachiketa in Pratamavalli, which we have seen. So he offers everything, and Nachiketa realizes the transient nature and rejects them all, and so Yama agrees to disclose the secret. That is the part in Pratamavalli. Tri Nachiketa Agni and Swarga Sadhana Bhuta Bhutam Agni Vidyam. That question they ask, whether they say Nachiketa Agni or Swarga Sadhana Bhuta Agni, both refer to the same thing. So there, if we need to write about it, actually the Upanishad, I believe some other Upanishad actually discusses in detail about this Nachiketa Agni, but in Kathopanishad what is mentioned is that Yama told how many bricks are to be used, and which type of bricks are to be used, and in what is the manner in which it should be organized, and he just elaborated on the importance of this fire ritual, and this was a means for attaining a well-being after death. That is the purpose of this Nachiketa Agni, and he was very happy, and he gave this bonus boon of the multicolored Shringan, and the naming the ritual again, against his name. He named it after Nachiketa as Nachiketa Agni. And if they ask about Swarga Agni Vidya Mahatvam, the importance of this Agni Vidya, there is one verse which says, he who performs this Agni thrice, this Nachiketa Agni, and they should know these three factors. The three factors are the bricks, how to use them and all that, whatever instructions have been given by Yama. With all these, who meditates upon the Agni, so when he leaves his body, before the falling of his body at the time of death, he will overcome all sorrow and he will rejoice in the heavenly world. So that is the Mahatvam of this Swarga Agni. And there could be a question on Nachiketa's thirst for Adhyatma Jnana, how he was interested in this. So there about Adhyatma Jnana itself, if there is a question, we could say about Yeyam Prete Vichikitsa Manushe, how he asked for it first. Asti Tityeke Nayam Asti. Some say it is not there. So this is how he asked for this Adhyatma Jnana. And then the other things that were offered by Yama, like Shatayushaha Purusha Pautra Vrinishva, he said ask for all those, Hiranya, elephant, horses, cattle and all that. So he rejected all of them. Then any other equivalent vara you want to ask, you ask whatever wealth, whatever long life, longevity, all that. So how he rejected this shows his thirst, and how he finally says that Atidirge Jivite ko rameta, and na vitena tarpaniyo manushyaha. Even though he says kamanantvam kamabhajam karomi, I'll make you the enjoyer of all the pleasures. Nachiketo maranam manu prakshi, don't ask me for maranam, he insists. So that is about Nachiketa's thirst for Adhyatma Jnana. And about Shreyas and Prayas, if they ask, we will have to mention about these two things that are there, and their paths are different. One who selects Shreyas will be the preferable one. If he selects, he will be good, he will do well, whereas the other one he will deviate from the Purushartha, he will fall from the Purushartha. And here again Dhiraha, he leaves the prayers and selects the Shreyas, because he weighs both and he is able to differentiate and discriminate, whereas the Mandaha, what they do for Yogakshema, they select the prayers. And talking about Adhyatma Jnana, a few of the verses which we can mention is Avidyayam Antare Vartamanaha Swayam Dhira Pandidam Manyamanaha. Adhyatma Jnanam, the Jnanam itself, the importance of the Jnanam, saying that we can mention how Andenaiva Niyamanaha Yatantaha. So like that, people who don't know, they will not be able to explain it to others, and those who get an opportunity to hear, those who hear but they are not able to understand, those things are there, and it is very rare and wonderful to have a good teacher and a good student. And talking about the Atma Jnana itself, how the benefit of Atma Jnana is Harsha Shokau Jahati, and how what do they understand these Dhiraha? Durdarsham Gudam Anupravishtam Guhahitam Gahvareshtam Puranam. By Adhyatma Yoga, they realize all these, and they give up sorrow. And why others are not able to gain this? Because Paranchikani Vyatrinate, everything is outward facing, so the people tend to go outwards towards Paranchakaman. That is why they don't get it, they get stuck in Mrityu. Whereas the Dhiraha, they don't look for the permanent among the impermanent, so they get Amritatvam. And Atma Swarupam, we will have to find few more verses, I guess. We could still say that Durdarsham, Gudam, Anupravishtam and all that. Na Jayate Mriyateva. There all description is there. Ajaha, Nityaha, Shashvataha, Puranaha. And Anoraniyan, Mahato Mahiyan. That again describes its nature. It is Nihitam Guhayam. It resides in the Guha and all that. If you find more, you tell me, we'll include this here. And Paramatma Swarupam, Agniryata Bhuvanam Pravishtaha. Vayureta ethaiko bhuvanam pravishtaha, and how they na lipyate loka dukkena bahyah, and urdhva mulava vakshakaha. Because there the description is there, tadeva shukram tad brahma tad amritam muchyate tasmin loka shrita sarve tad na atyeti kaschana, nobody crosses it. So it describes the Paramatma. And bhayat agnis tapati bhayat tapati suryah, how the entire cosmos functions because of the Paramatma. So these are something that I noted. Anything else you want to add?
This compilation of questions, is there only long questions or you've included short ones also?
I'm not sure. I had noted these down. There were only these 8. I didn't find anything else. If you find something, you tell me.
Long answers, because it consists of other 2 sections also, that is Bhagavad Gita and in this paper Vaidika Sutra. So for Kathopanishad, these are the main ones. Even I had. Hello.
Yeah, Divya.
Yeah. Okay. For the Agni, I had down 2 or 3 more. So I'll just tell the numbers. So if you could mark, it is easier. Apart from the Nachiketa Agni shlokas, .6. Do you have the book with you?
Yeah, I have it.
You can just mark Janamyaham Shevadihi. That one talks about Nachiketa Agni. Then again, Tritiya Valli, 3.13. Kritam Pibantau Sukrutasya. That also we can.
One is 3.6, next is 13. What?
Yeah,
3.13.
Yeah, 3.13. There 2 shlokas are there. So, yeah, Seturi Janam Aksharam Brahma Yukparam.
No, the numberings are not the same. So just you tell us the first line of the shloka, we just make a note.
3.6, I think I've missed. Ritam Pipatau Suktasya, you note down. It is the first shloka in Tritiya Valli. Tritiya Valli of Prathama Adhyaya.
Yeah.
First 2 shlokas.
Okay, that's all.
Yeah, and that the Arani, that is not for Nachiketa Agni, so it is a general comparison of Agni with Brahma. So we will not quote it for Nachiketa Agni. Yeah, those are the 3 extra ones I found.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aruni, anything else?
No, that must be it.
Okay. Okay, thank you. We'll meet in the next session. We'll decide something.
Sure. Okay, bye.